joined a podcast. It is a political podcast. It's called The Summit.
Okay.
And then they get two guests on the show, usually somebody like a little bit from the left and somebody a little bit from the right. And then the first episode was they brought both the guests out together. Like they brought the first one out and was like, hey, here's my views, blah, blah, blah. And the other person was like, hey, what the fuck? And then it became this whole like all out war. And I was like,
so are you like the sex appeal? Are you like the peg boy on the ship?
Well,
are you the cabin boy?
I've been able to, like, because I usually don't talk about politics a lot in my act. So as like a neutral party, like I'm just the fact checker. They'll give me some topics ahead of time and I'll research them as best I can and be like, cool, here's the facts on this, here's the facts on this. Or if somebody says something and I'm like, that seems outlandish, and then I'll look it up, or they'll call for a fact check. It's tough to keep up sometimes because they'll be talking about something and I'll be looking it up and then they'll like switch topics and I was like, I found the thing from a moment ago. And
from 10 minutes ago, and they're like, yeah,
dead.
Fuck you.
Move on, we've moved on. I'm like, okay, great. So I like, just like try to do bits from the back, like in the mic. Yeah. Like I
mean, it kind of sounds like when you're doing like a girl boy scene. It's like, just look busy. Suck on her foot. Like, just like,
dude, grab a mop. Like, let's,
just
everyone's a part of it now.
Keep moving. It's got to be dynamic.
Yeah, I can usually fact check Louis pretty regularly.
Right.
Like in the first episode, he was like, the show's great. The audience right now, it's the first show, is a bunch of my friends, and I was like, fact check. These people
are not your
friends. You just invited them and they showed. That doesn't mean that they're your friends. So I can fact check him a lot. Oh, yard sale.
Are you big on yard sale? Are you a big yard sale person?
It's funny. I used to go to yard sales with my grandmother a lot. She would see a sign for a yard sale and do a drive-by where she would like go by really slowly and like put the glasses down like, oh, looks like they got some stuff out there.
Right. I've been thinking of ordering like a license plate frame from Harvard to go on the back of my Mercedes.
Yeah.
Just to make extra pretentious.
I love it.
Like, that's my new thing, especially because I want to like pull up at a porn shoot. 3 or more Mercedes gathered, I am there. That biblical porn is in the building.
Yeah.
Whoever 3 or more Mercedes are gathered in my name.
If they're just parked anywhere, you're like, there's porn around here.
Yeah, there's porn here.
It's like the same thing in Los Angeles where you see like, 4 or more people. You're like, how do they know each other? And then they're like smoking. You're like, that's a 12-step meeting.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Like, anywhere like 6 or more people are like smoking cigarettes. You're like, there's probably a 12-step meeting in there.
Yes. It's fucking hot, bitches.
Yeah, there's warm up. I have my AC running like most of the time.
I have mine running most of the time, and like to be honest, like it doesn't even fucking do anything. It's like a window unit.
I had to get like a standalone one that like shoots out the window. It's like a little self-sufficient thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
They're, like,
was it expensive?
powerful.
How much was it?
$560, I think.
Wow, you're really making money.
You okay?
So I'm like a crisis of faith. I like faith being like my creative art, just really trying to figure out what the fuck I wanted to do. So, because I had gone on tour, like toured the country, featured for Mark Maron, big things for a comedian, and then to come back and have it mean kind of nothing, because that's how comedy goes. It's like dude, and then nothing, and then dude, and then nothing, and it's because I also have this complete other career and this fan base, and I was like, I don't know if like the old format, the old way of doing things, you go do. You stand up, you become at a local club, you host at a local club, then you start opening, then you're able to like go on the road, then you go on the road as a middle, then you can go on the road as a headliner, maybe you get a TV credit, and then if you're really good, your TV credits go well, then maybe you land either like a sitcom or you do like a Netflix special, and whatever that kind of old system was. This idea, just like, kind of like how in porn it used to be like, oh, you do girl, and then you slowly go, like, progress up, and you have, like, a 6-year career, and it goes over this time, and then it's like that whole model just, like, went out the window a long time ago, and I feel like YouTube, and that was because of Pornhub and a bunch of different things, but I feel that YouTube kind of did the same thing for comedy, because suddenly it was like, there are so many different ways to get to it and to do it. Comedy's so saturated, it's a privilege to perform, so, nothing local pays.
working at the store, doing the door guy showcases, and working there for years.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I feel
like,
guys
part
that
of me
get past that way. I don't know if they have TV credits or not, but
can you imagine if I started working the door at the store?
Love it.
I just think it'd be funny to have a porn star working the door at the comedy store.
Hey.
So that's something to consider, because you know what, like, porn doesn't pay what it used to. Maybe I should get a day job. Like, but
I mean, having a day job for me has been good. It's going to give me like structure. I know somebody who works in the creative field where I'm like, I've got a show, I got to leave. He's like, great, we'll figure it out, so you can go do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And it hasn't worked out like how initially I thought. Like, cool, I'll get an insight to like how, you know, he got into the industry, because like his story is like him and his friend did a comedy album in New York that got really big, and then Carol Burnett heard it and was like, you two, come write for this new show that I'm doing called The Carol Burnett Show.
Right.
And
It's
like,
like his model's like, so, I mean, that's like 4 generations ago.
He was like, you know, you just do it in your hometown and they'll find you.
I started doing stand-up again because I did it in Sweden, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm really good at this thing, and I love it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you forget. And it was like, so I was in Stockholm, and I went and did this club, and I had no prep, and I went up and I did like a really long set, and I came down, and one of the comedians turned to the other comedians and went, that, boys, is how you do stand-up. And I was like, the bitch is back. Like, yes, that is how you do it, bitch. I'm definitely like remotivated. I've been doing stand-up. I've been back to doing stand-up like 5 days a week. I worry, are people thinking I'm crazy? Like, does this seem crazy? Because I feel like so much of comedy and performance is like, it could also look fucking crazy.
That's what we do. Like, for me, I feel like stand-up comedy for me a long time ago stopped being a career or necessarily even a thing I wanted to do.
Okay.
But a mental illness that I had to continue doing whether I want to or not. I've told people, like, I'm thinking about quitting, I want to quit, but if I go long enough without doing it, like, I feel kind of off, and I don't know what it is. I've talked to my therapist a bunch.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't even know if I should be doing stand-up anymore. And she's like, why? And I was like, well, like me, like as a, you know, white man doing comedy, I'm taking opportunities away from other people that I feel like should have the opportunity to perform more.
Well,
like
I mean, no, I feel it's more like it's your blatant sex appeal that's like, really that's really taking away opportunities.
Also, like I'm not
also
being
you have
taken
a fucking
seriously
you have
as
abs
an actor.
like a fucking ass.
I lost them a little bit. Like I've had a girlfriend, so I'm like gaining a little bit of weight, or I'm like eating
you got to do
ramen.
the opposite of that, like because
yeah, I feel like I'm losing my appeal, which I feel like is helpful.
Well, I mean, it'll definitely
to be
help
taken seriously as a comedian.
Yeah,
like, he's not in shape anymore.
I mean, lately
he's let himself go.
Lately, my thing is I've been like very rebellious because I've had comedians tell me, don't wear midriffs on stage, or don't wear so much makeup. Like you look too pretty. You know, like people are gonna laugh at you. And so, but lately when I've been going back to stand up, like I've been like doubling down. I'm like, if I'm not wearing a midriff, I'm not doing stand up. Like
I used to wear a suit like all the time. Like whether I was going to, honestly, for years, I was like going to an open mic or doing whatever. In the what a lunatic, like middle of the summer, like jacket and a tie, like, well, gotta go try to get up. I might not get up, so I'm wearing a suit to maybe perform today 3 minutes somewhere. Everywhere, just sweating, like hot, like just a suit that didn't fit. Like people were like, you'll be homeless shortly. Like you are there pretty much, living on like $5 a day somehow. Like no idea. But it, like even into, I think it was after I got sober, I got booked on a show, and I was like, I don't care, man. I just had a track jacket, and I just felt like more comfortable, and I just did the set, and I was like, and people were like, oh, where's the suit? And I'm doing a suit, and I was like, I don't care. Like I don't feel like it's me. Like I feel like I'm putting on this like persona of like, because I was like really staunch about like, I'm a professional. I will do it professionally as my job, and I'm dressing up for it. Like And I was like, it's still, you know, a thing I want to do as a job, and I still take it seriously, but I want to be able to dude, it's me, and feel like I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can
and
get on stage doing sweatpants. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, and like for me,
it matters what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The content. This character that a friend of mine, my friend Billy, buddy of mine from high school, there was like 4 of us, and we were like all best friends. We took a road trip to Canada one time to go visit, not even one of our friends, one of my little brother's friends who's going to college up there. We partied with him. We're coming back the next day, so hungover. It's drive from Canada to Portland, Maine. We were in like Montreal, and my friend was asleep in the back. We were so hungover, and we just felt crazy. And on the radio was just like these old, like, weird commercials, and we stopped at it was called the PFK, which is like the Canadian version of KFC, and they
I didn't even know we needed one.
And we were like, this is so bizarre, like, what's happening? Yeah. And the manager, or like the employee of the month, was Robert Goulet, which is, you know, I'm sure a very common name, like very common, like, French name in Canada. We were like, Robert Goulet, isn't he the singer? Like, isn't that
right? Camelot, like the Blue-Eyed King. Yeah. Right?
And so we did this whole thing where like Robert Goulet was like down in his luck, and so for 3 hours I was like, Bobby needs some work, like just doing this whole impression, and I was like, that's so funny. So I tried to recreate that through like 3 small like video, or like 3 or 4 small videos I did in my apartment, which is like Robert like down on his luck. He's wearing like a Barbra Streisand t-shirt. And I think the thing I was missing was like a mustache. I had to like go out of my way to get
my favorite video you did was the one where you guys are making fun of A Star Is Born.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'll include like a link in it. I'll be like a link down.
Yeah. Hey.
What?
I just want to take another look at you. It's the most effort that I've put into a project that I've made in my life. It honestly took about a month just for me and him to be in the same place. And then I was like, we'll shoot next week. I feel like we should shoot it somewhere where we feel comfortable, like a beach or something. We'll do a beach day. Like, it's 13 seconds. We would practice all the time.
Oh my god.
And then he goes, we need to push the shoot. And I go, why do we need to push the shoot? And then he goes, I've got wigs. And I was like, okay, we'll push the shoot. So he had like a wig guy drop off like 7 wigs.
Oh god.
And then we picked the ones that don't even really fit.
Yeah, full fantasy.
Don't look the characters.
But there's something about it, like there's a charm about it, and like I think that's why I don't really watch TV anymore. I just watch YouTube. Guys, we had like all the good conversation while the camera was off. Ooh, that guy almost died just now. Hey. That skateboarder almost lost his life to the game.
Yeah.
This is gay Popeyes.
Is it?
I think everything's gay. Even notice like the theme is like, I'm like, this is the gay place. I see one gay person there, I'm like, oh, this is for us. This is ours now, thanks.
I think Joe Dosh had a really great comment. He was talking about there's some people that were complaining about the traffic in West Hollywood during Gay Pride. Mm-hmm. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry that we've inconvenienced you in the city that we built for ourselves.
An LA phenomenon people that aren't from here don't understand is like, what's the parking like? You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like, because I'll like skip an event. If I have to like, if it takes me more than 10 minutes to find parking, I'll just like go to somewhere else. Like, I'll just be like, oh, I'm sorry I missed your wedding. I'm so sorry. But I couldn't, it was like 15 minutes, couldn't find parking. Yeah. So I just went to McDonald's instead.
It looked beautiful, but I was on Coanga, and I was like, it's just not
like,
gonna
you know, like, I
happen
just don't have time for this right now. Can this work? What was your big trigger to get sober? Because you had a DUI, and then you went to meetings, like court-mandated meetings. Mm-hmm. But it was still like another 3 years before you got sober. So, like, what was your, like, did you have like an inciting incident, or was it just like...
I was home in a really bad New Year's Eve with my little brother, and things got like pretty horrific. And then the next morning, like, I just bailed. He was like, dude, you're on your own. Like, I was just blacked out drunk, and he was like, I can't help you.
Oh, wow.
And which people are like, oh, I can't believe he did that. And I'm like, I absolutely can believe he did. Like, I just pushed him to the point where he's like, there's nothing I can do for you, dude. Like, you can figure it out. Like, I can't help you. And so I kind of wandered off. And then the next morning I woke up and I was like, my plan was to wander off in the middle of the winter in Maine and then fall asleep in a snowbank and then
just
just
never
freeze
wake
to
up.
death. Yeah. But
like we're so like addicts are so fucking dramatic, aren't we? We're just
Oh,
like
you
we're like
don't
in the
even know,
we're
like-
just like, oh, in the grand opera of my life, masks falling away, end scene. It's like we're so fucking like
it's the most dramatic. I went into a store. I got kicked out of, it was New Year's Eve. I got kicked out of a dive bar at 11:50. 10 minutes before midnight, where everybody's gonna be like, brand night.
Right.
She was like, the bartender knew me and was like, you need to leave. Like, you're too drunk to be here in this dive bar.
wow.
And so I wander into like this convenience store, and I bought like a single bottle of champagne.
Okay.
And I was like, just the bottle. And she's like, well, you better go find somewhere. And I was like, I'll be all right. And then just wandered down to the wharf where I used to work. I was like, so poetic, used to work here, gonna freeze to death.
Please tell me you were like in a fucking suit.
Of course I was. Of course I was.
But you were like a fucking baby, right? So you're like in a suit.
Yeah. It's 20,
Death of a salesman, but you're like 24.
28. But I was like, what has happened? And then I drank like half of it.
Right.
And
And
I
to die like
just-
getting drunk on champagne.
I'm so blacked out, like it's even doing anything for me at that point. And I drank half it, and I looked at it, and I was just like, I can't even drink this. And I threw it against the wall, just shattered it like against the wall of this thing, and I was like, fuck everything. And then I like laid down.
Those were your final words. Fuck everything.
Well, what I didn't realize is before that happened, in the blackout, I called my mom to come pick me up.
Oh.
So she drove down to, I don't know what the call was.
See,
or how
your
she
mom
knew
issues
where
are
I was
always
gonna
behind
be.
everything.
Yeah. So she picked me up, and I'm like crying, and I'm like, nobody loves me, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm blacked out. And I woke up the next day, which I was like, I wasn't supposed to wake up. Like, this wasn't supposed to happen. And then I was like, I have a problem. Like, I really can't drink anymore. But then with no,
Did you
like,
see that? Oh god, it was just all muscle.
I mean,
Just
it's long
rippling.
hair.
I know, just like, but he was like tan and just rippling down.
It was like that thing where I was ripping on all those paintings at the LACMA. Yeah, I think we like were walking around LACMA.
Oh.
It's like roasting all the paintings.
Yes.
Some fine art.
Yes.
We should
Oh
really do
god,
that.
I made you do that. Like once a month, I
Okay.
make when I make my friends. I make my friends go to LACMA like once a month.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
great. Those should be. Well, I started doing transcendental meditation like a month ago.
oh, how do you like it? I've been thinking about doing it.
I mean, here's the thing. It's been difficult. Because it's, a lot of thoughts and just trying to like reconnect with the mantra and like I went through the David Lynch Center, the David Lynch Foundation, and learned through like a teacher, got the mantra and everything. And then I've scheduled like a monthly check-in to be like, hi, I feel like I'm doing it wrong. And they're like, you're supposed to keep doing it. But it's the most interesting thing, because I'm just sitting there and like having these thoughts, and then I'm doing the mantra as best I can, but then externally, like I don't feel super different, but externally what's changed is I've gotten booked on more shows. Like things.
I'll do
opened
anything
up.
for a booking. Stage time, what? Let's do it.
Yeah, like I've gotten people have reached out to me to like be on shows, and I was like, wow, it's all kind of happened in that time.
I mean, you could tell me that joining Scientology equaled more stand-up bookings, and I'd be like, well, it's got a bad rap.
Actually, when you join Scientology, you lose 2 shows.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just
That
trying
makes
to keep you away
sense.
from Scientology. But I mean, it's exponentially helped.
Well, I don't think
Performing
Scientology
and
would
doing
take
stuff.
me because like you'd have to do that thing like clearing or whatever, and I'm like, there's nothing in here to start. So you know what I mean? Like it's like they would have no work to do. Like they're like, we really need to clear your thoughts. I'm like, yeah, I'm a sociopath. I feel guilt, shame, and fear of nothing. Yeah, like I don't guilt, shame. Who don't know her? Sorry.
Who's
Yeah.
the time? But
You're gonna have to guide me kind of where we're going.
oh yeah.